Over the next 30 years, human population will booming, so does the protein demand of all the animal proteins from cow, pig, poultry, and fish is being reported that the most efficient animal to come with protein is fish. And that is why aquaculture is the fastest growing food producing sector in the world. It is developing, expanding, and intensifying in almost all regions of the world. As the global population is increasing, thus, the demand for aquatic food products is also increasing. As fish stocking densities in culture became increased, supplement of feeding is no longer sufficient. That is why aquafeed development started. Hi, and good day to each and everyone. I am Khalid Ismael. So today, we're going to teach you on how to choose the best ingredients for feed formulation.
And I am Christine Trillo, and we will show to you the processes to make sure that the ingredients you choose are clean and safe.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Tapi, and of course, we will show you how it is done and prepared to make it a good and better quality for fish consumption.
Before we proceed to processing and preparation, I will give you first the meaning of feed formulation and what are the things we do and the factors to be considered for selecting and choosing a natural ingredient for creating and making aquafeeds or feedstuffs. So what is feed formulations? Feed formulation is a process that involves combining various feed ingredients which contain different amounts of nutrients so that resulting composition would meet the specific requirement for a cultured species. The nutrient levels of feed ingredients to be used must be balanced mathematically in order to come up with the desired final composition. And it also takes into account the cost of the materials, the acceptability, and ease of preparation. The choice of a feed ingredients in aquafeed must depend on contents of essential nutrients, bioavailability, digestibility, and the absence of anti-nutritional factors and toxic substances, commercial availability, and costs. Factors to be considered. There are two most important factors to be considered in formulating a feed, and these are nutrient requirement and feeding behavior. Life cycle and type of cultured system are some of the factors that also to be considered. So let's proceed with the processing.
Before we proceed to pelletizing, we need to process the feedstuff that we will use. This is necessary to obtain the highest nutritional value of a feedstuff, and there are various ways of processing that can destroy some of the anti-nutritional factors present in the feedstuffs. These are soaking, cooking and heating, dehulling, and chemical treatment. So let's talk about soaking. Some feedstuff have to soak in water for 6 to 24 hours at room temperature, and sometimes done with heat to soften the grains. This is to facilitate the removal of some anti-nutritional factors in some feed ingredients, such as ipil-ipil leaf meal and cassava leaf meal. As you can see, ipil-ipil leaf is soaked for 24 hours to reduce its mimosine content at an acceptable level. Cassava leaf meal is also soaked for 6 to 12 hours or blanched with boiling water to release its cyanogens. Heating and cooking. This process is applied to inactivate some anti-nutritional factors and increase utilization of nutrients. The time and temperature of heating the feedstuff is of great importance in obtaining good quality feed. There are two ways in heating and cooking. It can be moist treatment or dry treatment. In moist treatment, the feedstuff is boiled for 30 minutes at 100 degrees Celsius pressure cooked for 10 minutes at 120 degrees Celsius, or steam for 30 minutes. In dry treatment, the feedstuff is sun-dried for 6 to 12 hours, oven-dried for 12 hours at 6 degrees Celsius, or roasted for 2 to 5 minutes at 250 degrees Celsius. Dehulling. This process removes most of the tannins by splitting or peeling the soft seed coat using a dehuller. It is done by a splitting machine or by soaking one part of the seed by volume in 3 parts of water for 4 to 6 hours, followed by sun drying for 12 hours or oven drying at 80 degrees Celsius for 12 hours. And last but not the least, extraction with organic solvent and chemical treatment. This process is used to remove the anti-nutritional component of various feedstuff. Extraction of lipid from leguminous seeds such as rapeseed and black beans with alcohol and water to remove the bean flavor. Extraction of oil from cottonseed meal with hexane decreases the toxic gossipol.
Pelleting steps and procedures.
Let me take you to the pelleting procedures. To achieve a good feed characteristic, feed must be prepared. The 5 steps of the procedures, and these are the following: grinding, mixing, conditioning, pelleting, and cooling. These procedures show you how the feed products can contribute to better quality pellets and more cost-efficient production. The first procedure is the grinding. Particle size of feed raw materials is important to physical pellet quality and the entire pelleting process. Hence, the grain is the first ground into smaller pieces in a mill. 1 to 1.5% moisture is lost during the step, which will need to be added later in the process to ensure good quality pellets. And the second procedure is the mixing. After grinding, the different raw materials are mixed to get a homogeneous meal. Quantities are predetermined by each formulation. As you can see, they use horizontal ribbon type mixer, and this kind of mixer is better than other. Why? Because it helps different particle sizes of ingredients with some liquid that mix equally and balance. The third procedure is the conditioning. Achieving good conditioning is maybe the most important step in the pelleting procedure. In fact, conditioning alone contributes to around 30% of the physical pellet quality. The feed meal is cooked with moist steam for a certain period of time to obtain gelatinization. The fourth step is the pelleting procedure. The meal goes directly from the conditioner into die, where it is pressed through small holes by 2 or 3 rotating rollers. At this step, the products lubricate the die, which make it easier to force the meal through to form pellets. This results in increased production rate and reduced energy consumption. And the fifth procedure is the cooling. After the pellets have been formed, they must be cooled. Free moisture is removed in order to prevent mold growth. This is another step where the products contribute. In conditioning phase, they work as a dispersant, helping the meal absorb the water. But during cooling, they act as a binder, sealing the pellet from inside out, allowing free water to evaporate. And so now,